Rap battles are not a new concept. I'm not going to pretend that I came up with the idea. And I thought that it would be good if we did one for the LEC. Now, originally, my idea was I think we should have like characters on our show. So like it should be like one of the Vedius characters versus like another character that exists on our show. And then Drakos was just like, why don't we just do it about the teams? And I was like, that's way better than my idea.
I know of no esport who did it before. A lot of the epic rap battle stuff that Vedius showed me was like, you know, kind of, there was some nerdy stuff. There were the anime rap battles, and it was like, well, we can see that this is something that gamers would probably enjoy.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first ever Mediocre Rap Battles of the LEC.
The first one I tried to, like, I was like, Vedius is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And he's like, just trust me. Bro, he was so persistent.
You were really bought into the idea. I think you were less enthusiastic about the execution. Yeah. Because with the very first one, you wrote the whole thing because I was very unfamiliar with hip hop.
I think music comes from a place of like your personal experiences, and we cast video games. It's actually harder to write about anything else, honestly, than to write about League of Legends. So I think we're fortunate that it's really authentic for us to write about these League things because that's who we are. Like, we are League of Legends fans at the end of the day. So it's it's almost effortless, I'll be honest, to write about League of Legends. The only problem is we've done so many rap battles now that it's like, well, we can only call someone boosted so many ways. You know what I mean? Like, that's the issue. We're running out of material because like gamer lingo isn't evolving.
He says this, but we keep coming up with new ways to burn G2.
You can get a couple million, but we'll always think you're free. You're so good at taking L's, you could manage COG.
Betty is a man of unlimited will and passion. And sometimes all the stuff that comes around that comes later, like the ability to write the raps, which has come over time, and he's gotten good. At the time, wasn't worried. Knew it was a good idea. I knew I was the person that could help make it happen. Made it happen.
But yeah, you wanted to help with the first one, but I think that for me, I was fine with it being very cheesy and kind of bad, and it was. I mean, if you go back, it's really horrible to listen to.
Run back to your broken kingdom, can't handle the pressure.
So little samurai keeps swinging that blade. Only way you beat the storm is with a holy grenade.
I hate listening to it. Definitely in the early days with the raps, Drakos took a lot of the responsibility on, but I've put so much time. So we have this playlist called Bangers for Vedi, which Drakos built for me, which is just full of hip hop music. And then from that, I just listened to so much music and just practiced writing a bunch of different stuff so that Drakos didn't have to shoulder all the responsibility anymore.
Just to paint a picture for everyone, instead of going to a studio to record, which is like not a necessity. You can make music in your house with a USB mic and like nothing else. Yeah. Like, people do it all the time. But we were sitting in like a PVC pipe rectangle surrounded by like the cheapest Amazon 50 for $50 like soundproof foam, and then there was a blanket over the top of that, so it was basically a little sweat lodge. I remember having multiple calls. We were talking to Dennis, the guy who eventually would go on, he works for the production company called Young Elder, eventually would go on to produce a lot more of these videos, but at the time was doing the music editing for this one, and he was like, how does this line up? Nothing you did lined up, and we're like, no, it's on the end of the one, Dennis, it's on the end of the one. Like, we were like trying to go back and forth because there's like the worst recording process we have ever experienced in our lives.
What was even more amazing about it was then when the second one, I was fine keeping it at that quality, and then you and our producer at the time, Dennis, was like, no, we're going to put more money into this. We'll level up the button. And I was like, okay, but I really like this like really corny, cheesy, bad stuff.
I want the LEC back so I can stand in the chat. I want the LEC back in my life.
Producer Margot then came to us with a Kia commercial because she said that I want to do a Kia ad, and I've decided to do a cheesy music video. And we were like, but we can't sing. She's like, that's fine, we'll figure it out. We weren't exactly given the best feedback in the past. I still remember when we were told we just can't sing in key, which I don't think was true.
Medi, one of the guys we were working with, had harsh feedback. Was not the best at he was very good at blunt criticism, but maybe not effective criticism. It didn't always get him the results that he wanted. He said, I remember probably for our first 2 songs that we made, maybe first 3 songs, even Dance With Me, he was like, all that matters is intention. He's like, yes, through the power of computer programs, As long as you're singing it with like the intent and the delivery you want, every note can be wrong and I can fix it. And we're like, yeah, but we really want to try singing it in key, which made it take like 10 times longer.
Do you remember the songs kept getting tuned down? Like it would start like, I don't know, if you just assume like natural C, you'd be like, no, we gotta go down. And then we keep going down.
Our range was so limited that rather than him like trying to auto-tune literally as a program could not get us close enough to the right key. So he had to adjust the song's key.
The first one, I Want the LEC Back. That was me.
all Vedi. 100%.
And that was only because, and my favorite story about that is I was listening to Taylor Swift's Want to Get Back Together. And then the next one, We Are EU. I'm not as proud of that one. But I remember that we were all really depressed. And I wanted something that rhymed with EU because it was about like us. Dance With Me. The only thing I came to Drakos with was I think it would be really funny if in our chorus we had Pepe D in it.
Come on, dance with me, with the LEC. Come on, dance with me. Do that Pepe D.
But yeah, the dance lessons were unique. It was the first time we'd done anything like that. It was honestly a ton of fun because it was both the most exercise any of us had ever had consistently, at least in terms of cardio, ever. And it was like sponsored by a company. And we got to work with these incredible dance teachers who are normally very hard to like find and schedule time with to teach us how to make a music video for esports.
It's one of those things where like in my singing lessons, the first thing that you get taught of is to like be able to sing in key, which I take it for granted because I've had like a lot of music growing up, but not everyone has that natural ear. So you can like learn how to get that. And then also like being able to stay in key when you sing, because you like hear a note and you know kind of what range you're supposed to be in. Eve could already do that without any experience and stuff. So like she already had a lot of the core basics down you get taught when it comes to singing, and she was really good. She was a large part of what I think made Dance With Me successful.
This could be the final chance, our last dance. Are you ready?
Vedi and I both love music, and we both pursuing music in our free time. So we both kind of just got better at a lot of the things associated with it. Mostly with writing music, Vedius with singing as well. And that kind of, all of those interesting experiments in like 2019, 2020, I guess, ultimately culminated in, I think, Rekkles with My Heart and Crown, which are much more fleshed out.
We are the ones who have lost, we're still fighting. We are the ones who have lost, we're still fighting. This is goodbye with the words that I'm writing.
For me and Drakos, and for people of our generation, I think this is what we grew up on. Like that type of music was just like a big part of our childhood. That emo phase all of us went through. I don't know if teenagers still have it. You know, I'm not down with the kids.
They still have it. They just might not listen to the same music. And I think everyone has their angsty teenage years still. They're just probably different soundtrack.
Yeah, probably. But that genre in particular, we really wanted to try and emulate. And so I think we did a really good job. And the two that made the song for us did a really good job of hitting the right tone. And then with the lyrics, I think just a lot of right things came together. And then it was also about Rekkles, which is like one of the most popular players in Europe. I'm pretty proud of the fact that I write a lot of the hooks. Rekkles With My Heart. To be fair, so
wait, I wrote the hook for Rekkles. Okay.
Well,
okay,
no, that was mine.
Wait.
So I hang on, bro. With Rekkles With My Heart, Drakos and I definitely wrote it together, but the words Rekkles With My Heart were me.
Oh yeah, the words Rekkles With My Heart were you. We were really good at writing lyrics, but we weren't really good at writing vocal pieces yet, in the sense that like there's the words that you're saying, and then there's like the rhythm and the melody that you say them, or like the tone that you say them in. And I don't think we're perfect at that yet, but like Rekkles With My Heart is one of the times where I think we started to like experiment a lot more with the rhythm and the pacing of the song. And also like we ended up having someone come in and help us with a lot of the actual vocal performance part.
I'm good at coming up with the words. Drakos was much more focused on the melody and the rhyme scheme and that stuff, which is why I think it's really important for us that everyone knows that we write this stuff together. Drakos and I are only like one part of what is a very big team that makes all this stuff successful. I think what's really important is that these musical pieces, as much as Drakos and I enjoy doing them, they are ultimately promotions for the league. It motivates you to want to watch us, not just because we have European League of Legends, but also just because we're an entertaining product.
You're just giving people more tools and more avenues to to make the LEC a part of their life. And as much as people want to do that, I think that's super cool. And I think we should do everything we can to support that. Unlike Rekkles with My Heart, this is a song that was going to exist in the world of ATC as well. It was really scary, to be honest.
It was really scary. It was so scary.
I never felt more like, I guess, socially awkward in my entire life.
I remember repeatedly being like, Drakos, what if Chrissy just doesn't want to sing with me? What if Chrissy hates what I write? Literally this long list of things, you know, that I was really stressed about. He was like, hey, let's talk to them and hope for the best. And to be fair, they were super friendly.
It was awesome. It was an easy process, honestly, all things considered.
Chrissy wrote a bunch of lyrics for us and for me. And then they said, this is great. This was the hardest thing I've ever written. Yeah, that one verse took me a week to write because I wanted it to not sound just like a League of Legends caster wrote it. And like, you basically, when you heard it, you wanted it to sound like an actual song you would listen to.
The thing that I love about it now is that it lives on. That's my favorite thing about any one of these pieces is where we write lyrics and we see them quoted back in Reddit threads. Things like this, you know what I mean, are what makes making this kind of content so special, I think. We got to make what I believe is a pretty great piece of music